Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dean. As a member of the fraternity, I don't think I can get away by simply saying. So I won't. Right Worshipful District Grandmaster, Right Worshipful Past District Grandmaster, Right Worshipful Master, brethren, all ladies and gentlemen, both here in person and online, a very good evening to you. It would be remiss of me not to bring greeting on behalf of my master and my lodge, that's the Ligonier Lodge, number 14769, to the Glenland Lodge, and of course congratulate you on this your first annual forum. And I certainly wish you, Right Worshipful Master, and the brethren a very long running series of this forum. And I should also pause and acknowledge the fact that looking around the room, I see where I have my brethren from the Ligonier Lodge here, and in particular, I will mention just one, I hope the others forgive me, and that is our substitute district grandmaster, Brother Michael Vassiana. I'm glad to see you, sir, that you could join us tonight. I have been tasked with the duty to speak about AI, artificial intelligence, the implication for the financial services sector. And I'm mandated to say, before I begin, that the views expressed here are my own and not that of the Bank of Jamaica. All right, so I have completed that duty. Well, we have heard all the speakers here talk about what AI is, so there's no point for me to repeat it. But simply to say that AI is here, AI has been here, and AI will be here for a very long time to come. Now, when we think of the financial services sector, we should not just think of the banks and the credit unions and the security dealers, etc., but also we need to include the regulators, which I'm a part, the supervisors whose aim is to ensure the safety and soundness of the financial system and to protect you, the interests of the customers. Now, according to Harvard Business Review, the world of finance is an obvious laboratory for exploring the potential effect of AI because information processing is the central function of the financial sector. Now, in January 2020, Cambridge Center for Alternative Finance published a very interesting paper. And that paper was basically the result of a financial sector survey in which they interviewed roughly 155 financial companies in 33 countries around the world. And what they found, simply put, was that approximately 64% of surveyed respondents anticipated using AI in all of the following categories. We heard Dane talk about fraud detection. AI is going to be the lead in there for fraud detection, where they use AI algorithms to analyze vast amount of data and identify patterns that are indicative of fraud activities. Risk management, risk assessment and management, another very big area where AI is going to play a huge role. AI enables financial institutions to access and manage risk more effectively. You have things like machine learning algorithms that analyze historical data, market trend, and other relevant factors to make accurate predictions about market fluctuations. AI is also going to play a huge role when it comes to trading and investments. AI has transformed trading and investment processes in many ways. You find high-frequency trading algorithms that use AI techniques to analyze market data, news, and social media sentiments in real time and make rapid trading decisions. We also find that AI is going to also be very useful when it comes to credit scoring and underwriting. AI algorithms can analyze large volumes of data again, which you're going to hear repeated over and over again, because this is the strength of AI, to access credit worthiness more accurately. It can also provide more comprehensive credit assessment and automate the underwriting processes and speed up loan approvals. Regulatory compliance. Compliance with financial regulations is a critical aspect of the finance industry. So you're going to find AI-powered systems can help financial institutions navigate complex regulatory requirements by automatically monitoring transactions, detecting suspicious activities, and generating reports to ensure compliance with regulations such as anti-money laundering requirements and the ever popular now, which a lot of banks like to refer to, and is Know Your Customer guideline. What the statistics found interestingly though was that, or they said in the survey, was that only 16% of respondents are currently employing AI in these areas, but it's anticipated that it's going to shoot off in very, very short order. Now, while no doubt AI promises improvements in efficiency and productivity gains, it also presents great and real risk and challenges, which we cannot overlook. Now, some of the concerns that we have identified in the financial sector is one of those that is on everybody's minds and on everybody's tongues, the issue of job displacement. The survey found that financial institutions expect that AI will replace nearly 9% of all jobs in their financial companies, right, by 2030. And they've also said while financial technology companies anticipate AI to expand their workforce, you're going to find probably a net increase because you're going to see the upskilling of persons to try and keep abreast, because the fact of the matter is people are going to still need to work. And they are going to recognize in order to compete in this new era, they have to upskill. So while they may lose jobs in certain areas in the financial sector, there will be other areas which undoubtedly will grow up. So coming out of the Cambridge University research, they anticipate that there will be a net increase of roughly 10% over the next 10 years. One of the things that I've always had concerns with as it relates to AI is this thing called algorithm bias and discrimination. Now, AI algorithms are trained on historical data, which may contain biases. And that's a harsh reality, because the fact of the matter is AI is manipulating and interrogating existing data. Who put those data there? Who placed those data there? Human beings, and that is what AI is interrogating and spitting out in many cases. Right? It is these biases that are not, if these biases, I should say, are not adequately addressed, AI systems can perpetuate and amplify discriminatory processes. For example, biased algorithms could lead to unfair lending practices or discriminatory automated decision-making processes, impacting marginalized groups and reinforcing existing inequalities. Also, another issue that we have to take into consideration is the whole question of lack of transparency and explainability. Many of the AI systems out there, particularly complex deep learning models, operate as what we'll call in the IT world a black box. What that means is that we have no clue what are the rules it uses in making its decisions. A lot of persons who employ those tools, those solutions, are employing it and not knowing exactly what are the rules it uses to make these decisions. So making it a challenge to understand how the AI system arrive at their decisions or predictions. Now, this lack of transparency and explainability can be problematic in highly regulated industries like finance, where clear justification for decision making are required. There's also the over-reliance on AI, and of course resulting in a loss of human judgment. This is one of the negative effects of AI. While AI can augment decision-making processes, excessively relying on AI systems without human oversight and judgment can be detrimental. AI is only reliable as the data it is trained on, and it may struggle with novel situations or unexpected events. So human expertise and judgment are still crucial to ensure responsible and ethical decision making. And then finally, I'll refer to the last challenge is the regulatory and legal challenges. Now, almost 40% of those surveyed feel that regulation hinders their implementation of AI, whereas just about 30% perceive that regulation facilitates or enables it. And interestingly enough, from the survey, is that the respondents said firms' assessment of the impact of regulation tend to be more positive in China than in the US and the UK or even mainland Europe. So in the United States of America, it was reported that federal regulators such as Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Federal Trade Commission, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and among others, have been in fact evaluating existing laws and guidance to determine how they should interpret to account for the advent of AI in consumer finance. And here in Jamaica, we saw where the Jamaica Information Services, they reported in their article on July 15th, 2023, that the government is in the process of forming an artificial intelligence task force whose main function will be to conduct research in the area and provide an evidence-based foundation for the development of a national AI policy. And I have no doubt, I know I'm not speaking out of turn when I say I have no doubt that the Bank of Jamaica will be a part of that task force. Now, regardless of the sectors and entities types, the quality of and the access to data and access to talent are considered to be major obstacles to implementing AI. Now, each of these factors is perceived to be a hurdle by more than 80% of all the respondents. Getting the right persons, the trained persons, persons who understand what is required of them and what is required of the system. That creates one of the biggest challenges to the full-blown implementation in AI for many institutions and many financial institutions around the world. And interesting enough, whereas the aspects like the cost of hardware and software and market uncertainty, these are less of a hindrance to implementing the AI technology. It's important to note that many of these negative impacts can be mitigated through responsible AI development, robust regulatory framework, and ethical considerations. The responsible and ethical implementation of AI technologies requires careful consideration to potential risk and continuous monitoring to ensure the technology is used in a manner that benefits both financial institutions and the society as a whole. The financial world will no doubt be transformed by the use of AI. But what will an AI-dominated financial world look like? Harvard Business Review said or suggested that AI will transform some, but not all industries. It will benefit large players most, and that just as it makes individual players smarter, it may make the world dumber. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Brother Williams. That's okay. Our next presenter is Brother Jamal Watts, and he will join us via Zoom.
Being the last speaker, I will try my best not to bore anyone and also speak on Freemasonry as it relates to AI. I'm going to attempt to segment the actual presentation in 3 parts. 1 will be communication, 2 will be history and tradition, and thirdly, the future of Freemasonry in relation to the AI space. So without much further ado, let me get started. First and foremost, as it relates to communication, Freemasonry, for all intents and purposes, is considered by Masons a universal organization. We pride ourselves on the universality of many members across the globe, not only in different parts of the world in relation to distance between seas, but also languages and also cultures. Now, take, for example, this existing forum. Imagine if you and we were to extend this invitation to brethren and other invited guests globally. You have the situation of languages, you have the situation of tone, and you also have the scenario of culture. AI can enable us to synchronously bridge the gap between languages and tone. Therefore, for example, if it is that we are having a conversation to a Japanese, AI can certainly translate and interpret what I'm saying from English into Japanese, and vice versa. That Japanese participant, as he or she speaks, then it is received from my end in that such language. Now, AI can further enhance the experience by tones and also culture. So, for example, I'm going to give a very basic one. In Jamaica, where the word hush is often used and often exampled with sympathy. So, for example, if something is wrong, a Jamaican might say to you, hush. Their interpretation of it means that everything will be okay, relax yourself. If you ever use that word in Barbados, for example, it means don't speak, say no more words. Therefore, there is a cultural barrier there. AI, through the large language models, certainly can improve that level of communication as well as enhance such. Now, let's take it a bit further. Freemasonry, for all intents and purposes, we conduct our meetings, we have our rituals, and so forth. We also have communications between different constitutions. We have your Scottish, we have your English, and we have also your Irish and your Prince Hall. Now, and our meetings are often held in physical space where we all congregate at a temple, we conduct our business. AI, through leveraging the metaverse, can then translate our meetings and transform our meetings rather into a space where our meetings can be conducted globally. Of course, having said that, it means that such metaverse or such platforms will have to be authentically correct. It has to be laid out and structured in a way that is definitive to that particular lodge or that particular meeting you're having. Now, this is where I go to my next topic in relation to tradition and history as well too. Freemasonry is entrenched with tradition, is entrenched with symbolism and history. Now, for all intents and purposes, ladies and gentlemen and invited guests, Freemasonry is often referred to as a secret organization. However, we are an organization and we have secrets, like any other organization. Therefore, the tradition, the symbolism is core to the foundation of Freemasonry and the heritage as well too. Now, as Freemasons, one of the biggest talking points that we refer to is the origins of Freemasonry and its history. As the previous presenters gone by have spoken about how we can leverage AI in the space of the input of human beings in order to generate an output, the same can be said for history. And it can also assist in answering those questions in relation to the origin of Freemasonry, also to other ornaments of the craft that we all have questions to. And in turn, will then benefit for the larger masses in relation to education, in relation to tradition, and by extension, able to assist in one, trying to debuff, so to speak, the sort of crazy secrecy behind Freemasonry, as well as giving more information to the wider public as it relates to the craft and wider itself. Now, in relation to history and tradition, for sure, it can then be preserved in a space where Masons globally can access it. They use it as education, and they also use it as teaching tools. That in turn can garner further interest from younger men and allow them to be interested in the craft without that sort of questionable how the craft operates. You see a bunch of guys going in a dark suit into a room, that sort of thing. That in turn can boost our membership, could potentially boost our membership also, and by extension as well too. As Freemasonry is aimed to make good men better, and by extension our families, our loved ones, and the wider community, hopefully that space can create that sort of access for the world. Now, the future of Freemasonry. And this is my view, rather, for it. Imagine, for example, that we are going to a physical meeting, and other members of the fraternity are able to join into that meeting and participate. They can view the nuances of it, of each lodge and each craft. It can be used as well too as a teaching tool for younger Masons, and also too for the community, as well as a diverse set of cultures experiencing Freemasonry at a level to which we all would hope to envision. Now, like the previous speakers, what you put into AI is what you get out. And the district master opened by saying that he considered himself to be a dinosaur. But it is the older brethren and the older Masons indeed would have to be part and parcel of the architects of this particular space, because they are going to be the ones who are going to ensure that the presentations are accurate, the layout of their general lodges are correct, as well as explaining the nuances of the space through what we may term the metaverse, or in some cases, the omniverse itself. challenges. No doubt security is a big challenge. As we all would be aware, when COVID struck, platforms like Zoom, Teams, and all of those suffered from what they call Zoom bombing, or what the case might be, whereas individuals would have gained access and infiltrate either into the meetings or even create some further havoc. As it relates to Freemasonry, of course, we must try our best to keep our secrets intact. Therefore, the hackers and those individuals may see it as an opportunity to enter our space and gain knowledge that they ought not to at the moment. Therefore, security is paramount. And that, in its sense, would have to be one of those areas that certainly has to be focused on in relation to ensuring that we maintain our traditions while ensuring that it's still shared globally itself. No doubt that AI is here to stay. No doubt that we are going to be using it on a day-to-day basis. The future of Freemasonry remains bright. I do believe that in relation to the experience of what will happen here today, the Glen Lion Lodge certainly has paved the way for many lodges to follow suit and have a discussion as it relates to Freemasonry itself, and also have robust conversations about the security, robust conversation about the future of Freemasonry as it relates to the AI space, and also how we can then assist in the world in debuffing some of the questions, and also to invite individuals to our space to partake to a point in our meetings and share information as such. Now, as the speakers gone before, a lot was said about AI, and many of us can speak about this topic for many hours. However, me being the last one up, and I know it is late, and I am in Bermuda at the moment, battering down, so to speak, for Hurricane Lee. So I will take this moment to pause and allow any questions or for, say, the presenter, the actual moderators to take the next step. Thank you.